Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. If you're new, welcome back. If you're returning, so today I've got a white set of nails. I just felt like doing white, and this was I was still in my Airbnb and I did these nails, so I didn't have choice of acrylics. Well, we're in our house now, so I have choice of acrylics, but they're all still in boxes. We just spent our second night here last night, getting settled, getting unpacked. Nail room would be the last thing I unpack, though. You know, the kitchen's done, the bathroom's done, and now we're doing bedrooms and living room. So that's what's going on here. So I'm just gluing on these awesome tips by Craftsxnine, and I kept this in real time so you could see how fast this Young Nails glue dries. If this is not what you're using, try it. It's on Amazon. I'll put the link in my description box for you guys. And these are so long. And I planned on wearing this set, so I did trim them down. And right here, I'm just using my sanding band from Profiles Backstage to blend my tips and fine tune these. I'll be right back. All right there, so I was putting together a new Tammy Taylor e-file, or not e-file, hand file, and measuring these tips, and I did fine tune them with the e-file. Why am I saying e-file? With the hand file, till we're here at this stage, and then I'm gonna show you the stuff I'm gonna be working with. I'm gonna use Nail It Like Lucy's Optic White. It's one of the whitest acrylics I have. Kiara Sky Monomer, and these two gels from Valentino. I wanted to do white on white Frenchies, and I didn't know how I was going to use this, but I wanted to use that too. And I wanted to use this little bling kit that I got from Hobby Lobby. And Zule's Clear Acrylic. I'm going to clean off my nails with Swipe and a lint-free wipe. And then I'm going to go in with Not Polished Dehydrator, Not Polished Primer, and Not Polished Triple X Bond. And these definitely stayed on until I removed them. I had to remove them to get us moved, which I'll explain to you guys a little bit later in the video. And after that, I go in with a clear layer of Zule's Clear, and I get it on with the white application. The look I had in mind, do you guys ever see, so Valentino has a milky white called, I always know the name of it, but now that I'm trying to think of the name of it, I can't naturally. But it's a milky white, their version of milky white. Or you can use any milky white, but you'll see a set that's milky white with white Frenchies. And so the milky white looks almost like it's like glowing or gray or something, I don't know. Or like a bluish color. I can't describe it. I'm sure you guys have seen it. Because the white on the Frenchie looks so white. That was the look I was going for, and I didn't realize that I couldn't get that with a white. I don't know why. So these were just white on white, and you could barely see the Frenchies. I could see them, but the camera and the lighting it was hard to see. So you guys, when we closed on the house and it was time to move in, our plan was to hire movers to move our stuff, because everything was in a self-storage, a self-storage unit, and it was already packed up and crated, and just like a mover would do it. And I do want you guys to notice that this is like the whitest white, and it's still creamy. Once it dries though, it gets pretty chalky, which it has to. It's just got a bunch of white pigment in it. But for application, it's gorgeous. So anyway, being new here, we didn't realize that anytime there gets to be a storm, so we closed the house on a Thursday. We got the keys on a Thursday. And the reason being, I guess our closing was supposed to be Friday, although they didn't tell us till the night before. But they couldn't do it Friday because there was a storm coming. an ice storm that if you looked at the weather system, like on the map, it was definitely coming through up from Mexico, going to hit part of Texas and us, but it was going to go north, much more north of us. But the title agency was going to be closed because of the storm on Friday. It's a very small town here. So we thought that was a little strange because, I mean, like if you live in New York or Massachusetts or Maine or any place, like life goes on. Sometimes schools close if the snow is like intense or something, but I don't know. We just figured, okay, they know what they're talking about. They live here. They're from here. They're used to this kind of thing happening. We don't know. So what we didn't realize is that once we got the keys Thursday, that so I called movers. We wanted to use a local moving company instead of a larger moving company and give our business local and everything. So we called around and we quickly learned what we just didn't even think about, that every place was going to be closed. So we figured we had Friday, Saturday, Sunday to move. Well, every place I called considered us wanting to move this weekend too soon of notice. You know, they're booked out and they had to push everything from this weekend to next weekend because of the storm. So it was going to be, we closed on the 8th. It was going to be till the 22nd before anyone could move us. And it was going to cost between $3,000 and $5,000. Now we're talking about, remember, all of our stuff is packed and bundled and everything. All we needed was somebody with a truck to roll up to our storage, put the items in the truck, drive 30 miles. Storage was 30 miles from our house. And that sounds like a lot, but that's a half hour, maybe 40 minutes. And unload it when you get here. We didn't want them to unwrap anything, put anything away. Just load, unload, drop off. $3,000 to $5,000. So that was horrible. And I totally get that that's short notice. Definitely. But we were supposed to close on the house on the 18th, I think they said. And we closed on the 8th. So there was no way for me to plan movers until we knew our closing date, which that just wasn't possible. So we figured, okay, worst case, we're out $3,000 more and we got to wait a couple weeks. So what we're going to do is just go rent a U-Haul, me and Vanessa by ourselves, and go to our storage unit. We're going to rent the biggest U-Haul they've got, and we're going to go to the storage unit. We're going to get every single thing that we can lift and physically put ourselves, because we had already paid the Airbnb through the end of January. So we didn't have to worry about like losing money on where we were staying, because they're not going to refund it. So although we want to be in the house, of course, we also had doctor's appointments in the city we were living in. So that kind of worked out, because we're like, okay, instead of driving all the way back, let's just stay 2 more nights, get what we can load ourselves, load it up. And so that's what we did. And her and I, it took us 5 hours that day, which wasn't that bad, really, to load up everything that we could physically pick up. But there were things like, we have like a side-by-side, like love seat recliner, but they're electric, and so they have motors in them. And just cleaning the house, I can barely scoot that across the house with my legs to get under it to clean it. So I know I can't pick it up to waist or shoulder level and get it on that wobbly dolly and up the U-Haul ramp with Ness on one side and me on the other, and neither of us being able to see over our heads. Like, we just knew we couldn't lift things like that. And we had 3 of those, a king-size bed, just the mattress itself, since it doesn't have a box spring, is like one of those really heavy ones. It's all in one. And an adjustable bed frame, which is super heavy, and it's like you can't take it apart. It has to be moved whole, basically. It's just hard to explain, but, and like, I don't know, 3 or 4 chest of drawers, desks. The worst part, the movers. Okay, so imagine a box that is about up to your chest level. So about a box about 4 foot tall and about 2 feet square. So 2 feet wide, 2 feet deep. Not deep. I'm saying that wrong. 2 feet in every other direction except the height is 4 foot, okay? That's the size of a box. So you could stand in essentially, and it would come up to your chest area, chest level. There were 4 of those boxes. And that is what they packed everything that was in our kitchen in. Cast iron pots, KitchenAid mixer, every glass dish and silverware and Dutch ovens and air fryer. Imagine, look around, every single item, toaster oven, microwave, every single thing that you can think of that is in your kitchen, right down to every utensil, cup, pair of tongs. And for we couldn't move them. We couldn't, even with all of our might, pushing it like one of those football exercises. You know, you see the footballers do, where they push that thing across the field with their shoulder. We couldn't even move those, hardly at all, even across the floor doing that. So there was no way. So anyway, after we got that U-Haul done, unloaded, we spent the whole day doing it, 5 hours, we returned to U-Haul, and we were stuck. We were like, what do we do with the rest of this stuff? Worst case, we have to wait a few weeks and pay $3,000 for the movers to do the rest. So for me, I'm like, no, I'm just going to hustle somebody up. I mean, we've been living for almost 2 months in the little city that we were in. So I'd gotten to know a couple of the neighbors, and we just were asking people as they went by. So that now also the same day, the day that we were at the storage, 2 other families pulled up to access things out of their storage shed at the storage facility, right? So I already was seeing that we were going to have a problem with the heavy stuff. And also, our stuff was not all going to fit in one huge U-Haul. We, like I said, had the biggest one, and Vanessa and I already had it almost packed full, and there was still all of our heavy stuff. So I hustled those guys up. I went up to both of them, gave them my phone number, told them we would pay them some money, and if you have any cousins, brothers, nephews, grandsons, anybody that 2 or 3 people, 2 or 3 guys that you can get together, we will rent another U-Haul. It can be next weekend, 2 weeks from now, just whenever. Can you do it? Can you find it? And both of the people let me take their numbers and let me give them, we exchanged numbers, and both of them said they would let me know. So I'm hustling up people at Home Depot. We went and bought a washer dryer and had it arranged for it to be delivered. I'm hustling up people there, the workers, asking them if they want to make extra money. I'm asking people at Walmart if they want to make extra money. I'm just hustling up anybody I can. And one of them calls me back, actually. So we did that Saturday. Sunday was just a dead day because it was supposed to be storming. And by the way, we never got any ice storm. It kind of sleeted. We had a little bit of sleet. And that was all. There wasn't even any wind. While we were there, meaning the little city we were staying in, we had 2 storms that were way worse than that just because it was a rainy day. So that was funny. So no one needed to shut down at all for anything. I did hear northern Arkansas got hit pretty bad, but anyway. So, yeah. Sunday night at 10 p.m., one of the guys that I met at storage texts me and says, I know it's short notice because it was 10 o'clock at night, but me and my 2 sons can move you tomorrow. And I was like, oh my God. Well, how things work around here is very different. So I knew that the place where we got the U-Haul the day before was actually like a feed store. And they also rent U-Hauls and like fill up propane tanks and things like that. And I knew they opened at 8 a.m. So I told that guy, well, I'm going to have to arrange for a U-Haul. So I won't know till a little after 8 in the morning if they have one available. Thank you so much, and I'll get back to you in the morning. He was like, okay, cool. So now remember, everything was shut down over the weekend for the storm. So we call this place Monday morning, 8 o'clock, no answer. Call back, 8:05, no answer. 8:10, no answer. 8:15, someone finally answers. Excuse me. He says, oh, Rodney's the one that does that. He's not in yet, so I'll have to have him call you back. We're like, okay. Meantime, I'm thinking the longer I make this guy wait on his only day off, where he has graciously thought about it on a Sunday night and got his kids together. And even when I had first asked this guy to move us, he was like, I don't know if I can get my sons to have the same time off as me and then want to drive 30 miles. I'm like, we're driving. It's like it's not your truck or anything. Like, we'll rent the truck. And we have our own truck. So we're going to load up a truck and a U-Haul. You guys just ride with us. We'll bring you back. You don't have to do any driving. He's like, yeah, that's awful far. And I'm thinking, I used to have to go 30 miles just to get to my best friend's house in Tucson. But okay, it's small town around here. I get it. It's different. It's just different. So anyway, the U-Haul place guy answers, tells me Rodney's going to have to call me back. Here comes 8:30. It's been 15 minutes. He hasn't called me back. So I call him back. No, he ain't in yet. Or no, he said he was in, but he was checking. Okay. So it's like 8:45. I call back again, and he says, the same guy that answers the phone, still haven't talked to Rodney, says, well, I just rented one, so I don't know. And I'm thinking, what do you mean you just rented one? You have been answering the phone this whole time telling me you don't know. It has to be Rodney that answers. And now you rented one? Why couldn't you have rented it to me? So I just got annoyed, hung up with this guy, and found another U-Haul dealer that was actually like within sight of our storage shed, real close. So I called them, and lo and behold, they had one. But the lady told us, I'm brand new. It's like my second day here. I'm alone in the office. Can you reserve it online? Sure. So we reserve it online. I'm getting ready to clear cap here, because you guys will see as I'm showing you these from different angles that they're with that chalkiness. Even though it went on real creamy and smooth and easy, it still leaves it. Chalky is the only way I can say or describe it. Like to get a smooth surface, like an even surface, I capped in clear. So where was I at in the story? Right. She asks us to reserve it online. So we do. We reserve the largest truck, 2 moving dollies, and a furniture dolly, because we want this to be as easy as possible on these people. They're so kind to help us, So we call the guy back, tell him we reserved it online, tell him we're on the way to pick it up, because we were 45 minutes from our storage at this place. And told him we would meet him there between 10 and 10:30, and he said that's fine. So we get to the U-Haul place. One thing I've learned about all these little small towns around here, which I actually love and am completely fine with, it just is, encountering a little bit of frustration when you're trying to get things done. But everyone moves at their own pace, super slow. And when you walk into the MVD or the post office, there's no one in there. You don't have to wait in line. It's you're next, you're first, you're the only one there. Or there's 1 or 2 people ahead of you, but they're just buying stamps. They get out of there. Or there's just everyone's at their own pace, and they're talking with each other, and they all know each other's families, and it's just small town that I love. I love that. I love that. So, but knowing that, I already reserved the U-Haul online, so I knew when I got to the U-Haul place, it was just a matter of driving there, getting the truck, and meeting them at the storage. So driving there was what took the longest. We walk in this tiny little office, and the girl who's working, who said she was new and said she was alone, there's like 5 people in there on Monday the 13th. And I'm thinking to myself, it's the middle of the month, it's a Monday, it's not a weekend. Why are so many people here trying to rent a U-Haul? Well, her internet was down, so she couldn't do anything. We are 2 minutes from the storage. I can see the storage. I know the guy's there. I see his truck there. I know he's waiting for us. And her system's down. And I'm thinking to myself, well, no big deal. We rented it online. I should just be able to give her my ID. She should hand me the keys and we can go. Especially in this small town thing. It's handled, Well, even though that was the case, there were still 3 people ahead of us. So we still had to wait for her to try to get through those people with no internet or system. She kept saying her system was down. I don't know if it was user error because she was new or what. I don't know what was going on. But the reason why we couldn't just procure the keys is because there was another worker there who were getting the trucks ready for the other people. We also rented 12 moving blankets. So whoever else was there who also rented dollies, moving trucks, moving blankets, this size truck, that size truck, they have to go out, do inspection, check the mileage. There's the guy doing that stuff. Well, it gets to be our turn, finally. I've had to text the guy who's waiting for us at our storage that I'm so sorry, but we're having all of these issues here. I am going to show you. Oh, I had already filed and shaped off camera, so that's where we're at here. And you see these little bald spots that I get? This always happens to me because my nail beds like fan out like a fan, like a spoon shape, or they're narrow at my cuticle and wider at my free edge. So sometimes I have to do this, and I'll just get a little bit of whatever color I'm using and use the same color gel, and just, if you guys have watched me for a while, you've seen me do this before. I'll just color that in just a tiny bit and then dab it with my finger. And once I have it kind of patted out, of course, I cure it in the lamp. And so I'm going to get to the end of this story here so I can tell you guys about what design I decided to do. Oh no, I still have to draw the Frenchies. Okay, I could keep blabbing. All right, so anyway, comes our turn. Lo and behold, they don't have the furniture, the 2 furniture dollies. So there's a huge hassle about how they're going to refund us for that before we can even leave with the truck. So anyway, we were there an hour and a half. Not kidding you, an hour and a half. And so I painted this finger. I decided to do a solid. I decided to use this to color this nail solid. Then I'm going to do white Frenchies. And then I'm going to outline the Frenchies with this gel that I'm using here. Just so, as if you can't see what's going on, I just thought I'd tell you. All right, so I'm texting the guy, and he lets me know, he keeps saying, okay, and I'm thinking they're going to drive off any minute, and this is all ruined. Now we have, a U-Haul that we can't use because we can't do any of that stuff. And not only can we not lift it, but we don't have the dollies. Like, even if we tried to force ourselves to do it, now this place doesn't have dollies. So I just didn't know what to do, and I was feeling super anxious. And so I had been texting him like, hey, 10 more minutes. Oh, we got, they don't have dollies, so we have to wait for a refund or whatever, being nice or whatever. But he finally tells me, hey, I'm not rushing y'all. And I'm like, okay, he's getting sick of me updating him. I'm like, okay, no problem. I just feel really rude making you wait. We'll be there as soon as we can. He's like, yeah, no problem. But like I said, everybody around here just operates slow. It ain't no thing. If I offered to move someone on one of my days off and I got my kids together to do it, and I was supposed to meet you at your storage shed and I don't even know you at all, just you walk up, shake my hand, introduce me, and ask me to do you a favor like that, and here I am doing it, and you're going to make me wait like an hour and a half? No. I actually wouldn't leave. I actually would stay there and wait because I said I would, but I would not be happy. That would not be okay with me. I'd be pissed. So anyway, super kind family, super nice man. So we get the truck finally. We drive the half a minute to the storage place. It takes him and his sons about an hour to load up a full U-Haul, our truck, and not everything fit. You guys, we got down to it and not everything would fit. So remember I told you we met this guy at the storage shed. Well, when he was there the first day we met him at the storage shed, what he was doing was parking his ATVs in his storage unit. So he had a storage unit that had a trailer, and he drove there in a truck. So he was so kind and hitched his trailer up to his truck, put the rest of our stuff on it. Him and his boys followed, Ness in the U-Haul and me in the truck, all the way out to our house. They unloaded us, and how freaking nice. How freaking nice. Of course, we paid them very well. I'm super thankful. And although that was a frustrating story, we did it. We made it happen. And people here are just so freaking kind and amazing. Just had to tell you that story. So we're in and, unpacking everything ourselves. So I outlined the Frenchies in that pretty opalescent, gorgeous polish there. I'm putting on top coat. I'm using, of course, stain resistant because these are white nails. And I thought the shape of this thumb was just, to me, perfect. I love this length and shape of a nail. Why did I do that first? Okay, and I'm going to go through and outline the rest of these. So my idea for this design was, I'm sure you saw the thumbnail. So you guys have seen those sets where people put like what looks like a 3D bubble abalone. I don't know, so cool looking. So when I saw these little seashell type abalone things in the kit at Hobby Lobby. I have some of these kind of things, like in my, this was $3, that little thing. Of course, in my nail stuff, somewhere I have a little kit kind of like that. But again, I saw this kit and I was like, oh, I have to have it. So I couldn't decide if I was going to do pearls, like white with white Frenchies and pearls, just white. But I kept seeing that smaller pearly abalone, the one I just glued to my thumb, and the brighter colored, I'm saying abalone, but I'm not sure if that's what they are. And it gave me the idea, well, I'm going to glue those on. I'm going to break them up into little pieces, glue them on my nail, like offset from each other. So one going one direction, one going the other direction. And then I'm going to use Young Nails hard gel, some hard gel I have that's really stiff, that doesn't move, and like build a bubble on top of it so it looks. And then I'm going to use that silver metallic gel I have from Zulay to like outline it, which it came out perfectly. It was so easy, and I thought they were beautiful, but you really couldn't see the design unless you looked up close, and I didn't want the design on my nail any larger than it already was, just because I just thought it looked good. One or two of them I felt were already too large. And I think if you're going to do like cluster bling or something like with like really large stones or decorations on your nail, that it should be full out. Like it should be a bunch of them, not just one. So to me, they had to be a certain size or they didn't look right. I hope that makes sense. So I guess I hadn't finished my Frenchies. I'm doing the Frenchies now. Sorry, when I looked down at the screen and saw that I had glued that one abalone on, I thought I was already at that point in the design. So, of course, I'm using my favorite best liner brush ever. And I'm going to do the finger that has the opal, my ring finger, bling. And then I will show you guys how I do the abalone design. Let me take a drink because that was a lot of jabbering. Okay, so the first time I ever got any of these, I'm just going to call them abalone. I'm not sure what they're actually called. The first time I ever got any of these, I thought, how am I supposed to encapsulate that? That's huge. So if you didn't know, they're actually very delicate, and you can just snap or crack them like you saw me do here with my little poker, and make them into whatever size you want. Let me see, did I do that? I can't see the screen, of course. Okay, I broke them up just a little bit. I'm going to break them up further. But, and I top coated after my bling on that one because I just didn't want that nail to be wide. So I was just trying to, I don't know. Off camera, actually, I thinned that nail out and made it more narrow, more of a coffin, so that when I put on all the polish, I put the polish and the top coat back on. I mean, it just widens it so much. Even if you wipe the sides, even if you go thin, I don't know, it's annoying. So here's what I'm doing, is I'm gluing these little bits on, and I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know which parts, which colors. I just have the idea in my head. I don't even know if it's going to work out. I don't know what colors I want to use. So I'm just doing this as I go. I'll let you guys check it out. And by the way, this one on my middle finger ended up being my favorite look. I kind of would have done them all like this had I known. So this gel here, as you can see, does not move. It does self-level, I realized after I put it on the nail. It actually kind of ran a little bit, maybe because my finger was warm, I'm not sure. But it also gave a little bit of yellowing, you guys, which was so disheartening. And I just thought that like clear gel was like the clearest clear you could get. So I guess this isn't that though. So as you can see, what I'm doing is like building up a ball or a bead, like for like a crystal ball type look. And this was so easy. It was so easy. And this is Zule's metallic gel that I mentioned. I got the set. There's a rose gold, a gold, and a silver. And this was super easy to do. And I'm using Drea's the 5mm liner brush from Dream Nail Supply, which I will show you up close in a second. And it's super fine. And this was just so easy to do. And after that, of course, I'm curing in between. These are already cured. Also, I did wipe these off because that Young Nails gel did have a tacky layer. So before I went in with this metallic liner, I did cure it and wipe it off. And then after I'm done with the silver, I will cure that again. And then I'm going to use quite a bit of the stain-resistant top coat to like put another blob on top of it to kind of give it even more of a crystal ball looking effect. So you'll see me just kind of globbing it on here. First, I want to make sure it's really sealed and really covered and just give it a little bit more. After that, you guys, is cuticle oil and the finished product. And again, I will add at the end of this video, when you guys are done seeing the final look of the nails and the little TikTok I make afterwards that shows you everything, I'm adding the little clip of the woods I'm standing in right now. Ooh, that's so pretty, right? The middle finger. This one was my favorite though. Look how pretty. Next time, I think I'll put a thicker layer of clear underneath the first layer so they are really dimensional. But I don't know. I sat down just wanting to do white nails and white Frenchies and had no idea what I was doing. I feel like those are the sets that always come out the best for me, where I just grab some stuff I want to use and don't really have a plan. So you guys, thank you for being here. Thank you for watching. I adore all of you. And hopefully I'll have a semblance of a nail room together next time. Our house in Arizona is sold. They are on to their closing step. They're in the final steps of closing. And after that, we'll be buying a shed. So either stay in the spare bedroom for my nail room or go in the shed. Not sure. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Bye. This is my backyard, and it gets much thicker as you go back there. Obviously, I haven't been past that tree line, but right over there, down that little path, there's like a little swamp. I guess that's what it's called. It just looks like a large pool of water, and then 10 minutes that way is the Ouachita River. We're literally 10 minutes close to a huge river around here, and you could just slip your boat in there and go fishing all day, float down all day. Right here next door is a working farm. Right across the street, as you can see, that's a barn. They have cows out in that field. That's a working farm. That's our house. And then we have one neighbor over there. But you can hear how quiet it is. I just know this is going to be beautiful in the spring. I can't wait. So this is where I'm doing my voiceover while I'm talking to you guys.